put me into a survival situation where I was no longer thinking about the record, I was thinking about whether I was going to live to see the next sunrise. Hi, my name's Lisa Blair. I am an adventurer and ocean sailor. In 2017, I set out to become the fastest person to sail solo, non-stop and unassisted around Antarctica, and I had a secondary goal of becoming the first woman to do so. And then in 2018, I set off to become the fastest person to sail solo, non-stop and unassisted around Australia, and again, the first woman to do so. I raced around the world with crew through 2011 to 12, and I got exposed to the Southern Ocean and the big waves down there, and it was just this magical, kind of violent but amazing place. I fell in love with the concept of spending 4 months surviving in such a raw environment. The record was set in 2008 by Russian sailor and adventurer Fedor Konyakov. So he did the record in 102 days, and so I was hoping to do the record in 90 days. There's this element of kind of unknown of how you're going to go with isolation for 4 months at sea, and the mental preparation involved. So the beginning of the trip was a little bit of a sort of settling in phase. I was fairly confident that I could complete the circuit and come home alive. Whether I would break the existing record or not was still a bit of an uncertainty, but I was going to give it everything I had. It was day 72 and I had everything pretty well go wrong. It was just coming into sunset and my mast had snapped during a storm. Put me into a survival situation where I was no longer thinking about the record, I was thinking about whether I was going to live to see the next sunrise.
Obviously you've all heard about my demasting, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm well. Apart from a few bumps and bruises, I'm doing okay, and we're under motor now for Cape Town, so I'll see you guys again soon.
I was able to limp to South Africa after saving the boat and then run repairs in South Africa and restart the record in winter in the Southern Ocean. So coming into Australia was sort of both exhilarating and exciting because it'd been 6 months since I'd seen Australia and my friends and my family, but also disappointing because it had taken me so long with the damage that I'd done to the boat, and with the need to stop for 2 months in South Africa and run repairs for all the extensive damage that Climate Action Now had undertaken. When I set the record, I was just stoked that I was able to be part of the history books. I mean, this was a campaign that was 3.5 years in preparation, 6 months at sea. Every day was a battle out there, so to be able to be successful, even though it wasn't the whole story, I was still completely successful with my original goals. And you know, I was able to go around Antarctica and come home alive, and that's a great achievement. Sailing solo around Antarctica is fairly open waters, so you can sleep, you can get rest. You've just got to be able to kind of get through the storms and deal with the cold climate. Whereas sailing solo around Australia, you're coastal the entire time. You've got this hot climate, you've got changing weather patterns, you've got land, reef, rocks, traffic. So it means you can't sleep more than 20 minutes at a time the entire time. The existing record was 68 days. I was aiming for around 45 days. I didn't doubt my ability to complete it. And at one point I woke up a mile off a beach and I was sailing straight towards land, and I almost sailed the boat straight onto a beach. So, you know, those sorts of challenges were all the time. So whilst I had faith that I could do it, there was this element of unknown. I got unfavourable weather conditions the entire way around, which delayed my arrival by over 2 weeks. I almost lost the boat in the Bass Strait, where I had a fitting through the hull of the boat fail and started taking on water, and I didn't know. And I was in the middle of a pretty big storm, and I had land and reefs and rocks all around me, and I was trying to get through the storm. The boat started sinking, and I had to stop the boat sinking and get all the flooded water out. So there were quite a few unknown challenges that did occur through this trip. So when I got to land, I had a fantastic welcome by the community in Sydney here, and my sponsors were all there. They had an ice cream cake and hot chips, and yeah, it was just really nice to be home and have been successful. I completed the circumnavigation of Australia in 58 days, knocking 10 days off the existing record, and I became the fastest person to do the trip, the first woman to do so ever in history, to sail solo, non-stop and unassisted around Australia, and I did it all on a 100% eco-powered boat, so something really to be proud of. Currently, I'm preparing to go back to sail around Antarctica again, with the goal of breaking Fedor Konyakov's record and completing the original record that I was aiming for last time, with becoming the fastest to do it non-stop.